Greetings and salutations on this miserable Monday post Seahawks loss to the rebuilding, hardly recognizable Los Angeles Rams, who have pretty much given away most of their roster to get under the salary cap because they bought a Super Bowl. Good for them, right? But it was just really disappointing to see a bunch of nobodies totally come and kick our butts in our own home field, which, let's face it, doesn't really feel like home field lately because we've had no advantage there. I'm just super disappointed in the way things went. Not completely surprised. I knew the Rams had it in them to beat us because they always do. Sean McVay is a brilliant coach. Matthew Stafford, Hall of Fame quarterback. Aaron Donald is still a world breaker, and they didn't have Cooper Kupp, but I knew that Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua could produce. They've been producing all preseason. Atwell's been developing the past couple years. Famously, one pick selected after we picked D. Eskridge. And I remember thinking at the time, we got the player the Rams wanted. Suck it, Rams. I was so happy that we had D. Eskridge and not in the Rams got stuck with Tutu Atwell. And meanwhile, D. Eskridge has done absolutely nothing for this team in years, and he's suspended right now for 6 games. I'm disappointed on all levels, really, with the things that are happening here. But not entirely surprised, right? It's the Rams. They have our number. They just do. But the problem is greater than that. I did some looking and some. It's hard to remember sometimes. Things that happened in previous years, like how 2 years in a row we were on pace for historical badness before turning it around, towards the end of the season to save us for some, historically dubious defense numbers. And I look back and I see that we feast on backup quarterbacks. It is not often that we beat a star quarterback, and when we do, it's because it's the resurrected zombie corpse of Andy Dalton, who still managed to throw for 415 yards. It's Matt Ryan, on his last legs before being traded from Atlanta. It's just, we're not good against good quarterbacks. And I think this whole scheme of don't give up any big plays, let them dink and duck underneath us all day long, and hopefully they make a mistake, doesn't work against good quarterbacks. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league, and I don't think that having a defense predicated on hoping a quarterback fails in their execution is a good way to run a defense. I don't know. There's more to it than that, obviously. You expect our defensive line to put more pressure, with 4. That's the goal, right? Is to put pressure with 4 so you don't have to blitz and you can have your coverage assignments taken care of. But that's not happening, right? Boye Mafe, he played well, not well enough. Our $17 million a year man, Dre'Mont Jones, helped with run fits. That was nice. I watched Pete Carroll on Brock and Sock. He said that he did all of his run assignments correctly. He's got to help us more in pass rush, obviously. And hopefully we'll get there, but we have not gotten there yet. And Nwosu, while having a great game against the run, again, didn't affect the pass very much. We only had 2 quarterback hits on all of Stafford's dropbacks. We had 2 quarterback hits, and one of them was a blitzing Kobe Bryant, who the other time he blitzed was knocked flat on his ass. So I don't think blitzing Kobe Bryant is a solution. Jaron Reed had another hit. Good on him. He's just a good player. Hopefully that he can continue to help us in the middle there. Cameron Young got on the field for 2 snaps. It was a bit disappointing. And another thing that I had spoken about on the preview was I was interested in seeing how Miles Adams might hold up because he flashed in the preseason. And he only played for 2 snaps, and I think that he got... This is my suspicion, is that he got benched because I believe that it was his responsibility to maintain the gap when Stafford had that 9-yard run for a first down later on in the game. It looked like he was making his rush move. It looked like it blocked. He thought that he could sneak around and kind of stunt and maybe make a lane to the quarterback that way, but it just opened up a huge gaping hole for Stafford to run through, and that looked like Miles Adams' responsibility, and that was I don't know if it was unlucky or what. Maybe someone else may have gotten away with it, but it looked like we paid the price for him freelancing a bit and not maintaining his gap responsibilities. So that was a disappointment. DK Metcalf, of course, got another taunting penalty. And I listened to him saying, "Oh, I felt like he hit me late." But then he said that he was blocking during the play, and that's just how he plays. And it really didn't look that way in the replay. It looked like Akilla was kind of turned his back, and DK Metcalf saw his opportunity to knock someone flat on their face, and he did so. And I think in adding a bit of intimidation into the game is a good thing, but that was just really cheap and kind of embarrassing because Akilla Witherspoon is like made of toothpicks, right? And Metcalf is this big, man beast, and it looked like a bit of a hate crime, to be honest. So that was not a good look on Metcalf's part, and then he fell victim to the catcalling from the other side and got a penalty, and that was not a good look on the young man. I don't expect that he'll ever clean that up. I think this is going to always be part of his game, and I think he's dynamic and good enough receiver to kind of warrant a little bit of, that's okay. We let Sherman get away with that stuff because Sherman could walk the walk, and maybe Sherman wasn't as mean-spirited all the time as Metcalf's, after the play antics at times, but that touchdown he had was filthy, man. It was filthy. That was such an awesome route. For all the people pre-draft saying how Metcalf can only run one route, that was not the case. He faked the defender out of his jock, and it was a beautiful, beautiful route and an excellent play. That was a great touchdown and a great play by Metcalf. Another problem I had though was with our number one pick, Jackson Smith-Njigba. If we're kind of seeing him as our Tutu Atwell, which I don't want to say that because Tutu Atwell should not be as good of a player as Jackson Smith-Njigba. And again, long year, long career ahead of him, but 5 targets and 3 receptions for 13 yards. I want a little bit more from our number one pick. I don't see why Tutu Atwell can get so much yards after the catch, and Jackson Smith-Njigba can't. Every time he was pretty much corralled right away when he caught the ball. Every time, and I just don't understand why someone else's defense can stop a short zone play and our soft zone coverages can't. It's just really frustrating. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm glad that we were able to stop the run a bit. When we did not stop the run, though, those holes were large. I mean, you could drive a truck through some of the holes that Kyron Williams ran through. Cam Akers' touchdown, I thought was just a good play design. I saw Bobby Wagner bite on the fake going the other direction and just did not have the time to get back over and make the play. And that was his to make, it looked like, but he bit and took a false step, and the play was over at that point. This is just mistakes that I hope that we can clean up. I'm a bit demoralized right now just to see the same thing over and over again, right? Okay, the run defense was a bright spot, yes, but we were annihilated in the passing game. I mean, just annihilated. And that was what Schneider's been saying was our most improved positional group on the team. And I didn't see it. You didn't see it. No one saw it. Julian Love had a great pass breakup, but that was it. I mean, he played great. I mean, I think he was all over the field. He did the best he could, but he didn't actually stop anything except for that one pass breakup. They pretty much got first downs at will. Their third down conversion rate was insane, while ours was dismal. It's just, there's a flaw in the scheme somewhere. I don't know if it's just not having enough pressure, not blitzing enough, relying too much on 4 people to get pressure, or maybe these 4 people should be getting more pressure and they're not. I'm sure it's a combination of all these things. Look, I'm not a professional analyst. I just try to catch things here and there and point out things that seem to be making a trend. And the trend is that we can't beat good quarterbacks, and even the bad backup quarterbacks we kind of make look really good, right? I mean, Nick Mullins threw for 414 yards. We beat them the second time we played 49ers a couple years ago, but there's just a history of backup quarterbacks playing really well. Case Keenum looked like an all-pro against us. These are just things that we see over and over again. We have issues defending the pass. I don't know what it is. I really, really don't. I know that we set out to stop, the deep game because it was an issue like in 2020, something like that. We at the beginning the year we got Quandre Diggs, we had a hard time stopping the deep ball. Quandre came in and he's a bit more rangy. Maybe it altered the way teams played against us, but now they're just eating us up underneath. And I think a lot of the modern offenses are kind of built around the short pass. Patiently marching down the field, matriculating down the field, as they say, and we're not stopping it. And I kind of feel like we should have the personnel that's good enough to stop it. Maybe things will change with Devin Witherspoon coming back, whatever that may be. Jamal Adams, as much shit as Jamal Adams gets, and really only played 25 snaps last year before getting hurt. Right, he's the guy who makes the most money in our defense, and he's never available. But in those 25 snaps, he had a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, 3 other tackles. He actually did like that in that game, that first game last year. He was very active for when he was on the field. I don't know what that would have translated to over the course of the year. I don't know how much impact that would have had on the season or our defense. But for those 25 snaps, he was amazing. I have to give credit where it's due. I don't know what's going to happen when he comes back. We're locked into him for another 2 years. So hopefully he gives us more than 25 snaps this year. Well, I'm sad about what happened to the Seahawks. Not completely surprised. I know the Rams have our number, so I always knew this was a possibility, and I was kind of mentally prepared for it a little bit. But to see the wheels completely come off in the second half was just awful. And to see us not fully take advantage of everything that we had in the first half, too. There's a lot of plays that we left on the field in the first half. But I guess losing, the 2 tackles was a lot to come back from. Jake Curhan, in my opinion, is not an NFL replacement level tackle at all. He just isn't. I'm sorry if friends and family of Jake Curhan are watching. I think he'd make a great guard. I don't think he's really tackle material. Stone Forsythe on the other side. He was always good in college in pass protection. That was his calling card. Brett Coleman, whose channel is fantastic. Check him out. Like Stone Forsythe a lot. In fact, in one of the mock drafts that they did live, he selected him in the first round. Stone Forsythe. So I was excited when we drafted him. His development has been kind of slow, but I think that he will hold up in pass protection if we have to lean on him. Run defense has never been a good thing for him. I don't think he's really developed that much at all. And we just have to change our offense completely. If we have to start Jake Curhan and Stone Forsythe at tackle, we better be giving them a lot of tight end help or other schemes. We can't just play our regular offense and leave them on islands. It's not going to work. And we're going to have a replay of the second half in Detroit. In Detroit. 8 up Kansas City with crossing routes. Los Angeles 8 up yesterday with crossing routes. Things are looking pretty grim next week. Maybe best we can hope for is that Detroit sees us as a trap game. I don't know. Maybe Goff has a Goff game where he regresses and plays down to his base level of performance ability. We've seen him have bad games. I don't want to predicate our victories on other people playing badly, right? That's usually not a good sign. And unfortunately, I just don't see us coming across a victory with Detroit unless they overlook us, like we maybe overlook the Rams. But with that coach, I just don't see it possible. Lions coach is fantastic. He's one of my favorites, Williams. He's great. The Lions probably my second favorite team right now, just because of him and the way he has that team playing, the way he has them believing. It's kind of envious. I love the culture that Pete has built here, but he's also built this defense, and this defense stinks and lets us down game after game after game, and it's been that way for years, and it's just so frustrating. 3 defensive coordinators, and the results are all the same. Maybe not in exactly the same way, but pretty close, right? This whole guarding against the deep pass, let you eat up in soft zones, just all it means is that it takes them longer to score. but they score. It's just, yeah. You feel my pain, right? Anyway, let's just look forward to next week. Let's see what this week develops. Let's see how Charles Cross's toe gets better. Let's hope that Abe Lucas's knee, the flare-up that they had, I guess it's not a new injury. It's an old thing that gets aggravated occasionally. Hopefully that subsides and he's able to start for us and we're okay. We have another great game from Ken Walker, who I thought was doing great. Charbonnet was developing. D.J. Dallas even played well. He had some nice punt returns. Special teams was great, except for, it's an odd year, so we'll see what happens with our kicker. He's never good in odd years. Hopefully it won't come back to bite us too much. But, I don't know. All we can say is we can only get better from here, I guess. It'll be hard for us to play worse, I guess. I guess that's a positive thing to say. Well, we'll just see throughout the week. All right, guys, I appreciate you stopping by, taking the time to listen. If you feel like subscribing and liking the video, I would appreciate it. That'd be nice. But if not, that's cool too. All right, guys, take care, have fun, and enjoy.